Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki spiritual healer. And, there have been a couple of videos that I have been seeing online. And, it just really struck my attention that there's men going around in the store. Their content is to go around in the store and, mess with people. I seen one really big dude. I think he's French. His beard is kind of big, and I think he's French. And he just goes around in the grocery store picking up stuff out of people's cart. And I think that it is hilarious, the look on their face. But there is another young man that goes around trying to talk to women and get their Instagram and touch their hand. So I'm seeing a lot of the chosen one men stand up and defend their woman. But there are some men that just stand there like, who are you? Do he know you? It should be, each and every time. It should be each and every time that someone tries to do that, you're hitting his hand. You're giving him that, whatever he's trying to give your woman. And most of the chosen one men already know this. And like I said, and I stand by it, that a lot of the chosen one men, they're already skilled. They already know what to do in situations. You don't have to tell them what to do, but there are a group of men, and these are the warlocks. These are the warlocks who, are not secure in themselves, who doesn't have security. And many times those men that's in the store that don't say anything, many times those men in the store that ask her a question, do you know him? She doesn't have to know him for you to be in her life. So these are the warlock men that I like to talk about. And I like to highlight, because these are the same men that will say that they have $40,000, which breaks down to, a little bit over after taxes, $600 after taxes, for bills, for the rent, for his woman, for the children, for, travel back and forth just to work. To wash the clothes, to make sure that we have, the everyday necessities. And so these are also the men that you will find in life that don't want to do any better. They are not skilled. They are not skilled except for on whatever job they have chosen. They're not skilled in the home because they feel like, they're the king and they're supposed to sit and do nothing. Just like our fathers of old, that warlock mentality, the warlock mentality, that witch mentality, that I need you tired. I need, all of your energy siphoned by the house, by your job. You're going to have to help me because I want you tired. And, I want to be able to, have intercourse with you. So you're going to be tired so that you don't have the energy or the finances to do anything else for yourself. So nobody wants you but me. Okay. So we have to be careful of those type of men who stand around and say nothing or do nothing when they're approached by another man. And we have to look out for our brothers and sisters in this way, because these men will not react to another man, but they will react to a female. So we're looking at in real time what we have, I would say what we have understood as that player mentality, that mentality that was given by the colonizers, by the enslavers. That mentality that, I'm a pimp, I'm a hustler, even inside of the household. I'm a breeder, and I need to break down the person that's with me. I need to break that person down. I need to break them mentally, physically, and financially, because I'm going to have to get another job. They're going to hold me accountable if I don't break this person mentally, physically, and financially. I do not like it that, other people, other women can talk to you and give you an idea. I want to isolate you. I do not like it if you make more money than I do. I need to be accepted, for the energy vampire, to create this trauma bond between you and I. I want to rush in and do everything with you when I first meet you. When our relationship is fresh, I'm rushing in so that I can change later on. So that I can say, this is the type of person that you wanted. This is the type of person that you knew that I was. So we are having these types of men, they're being put on blast by some of the chosen one men, by some of these creator content in the store, how you're treating your woman. The man is actually going up, picking up stuff. The lady is trying to get something off high counters, and the man is going up, getting it for her, and able to shake her hand and touch her. And then the husband or, the boyfriend comes in and say, what are you doing? I could have got that for her. And then he says, but you wasn't getting it, so I got it for her. So, I remember, during my marriage, my second husband and I, we were out at a Kroger. And it was so funny because it was a guy that was following me all around the store. And, my husband noticed it, and he was like, this dude is just following you. He wants to say something. He wants to try to isolate you so he can give you his number or talk to you or whatever. So he was like, he kept looking around. He kept looking around him everywhere we went, every aisle we went on. Even when we checked out, we got all the way into the parking lot. And, my husband was in his 18-wheeler. And it was funny because, my husband said, I'm going to put the groceries right here. And let me help you, get in the truck. And then, this guy was still following me. He was still following me. And it was so funny because when he helped me up out of the truck, it was like my husband lifted me up and put me in the seat. And he was looking at dude like, this ain't what you want. and it's funny because chosen one men, they know other men. They're not going to stand around and let another man do things for their woman. With a lot of my husbands, I was not allowed to pay for things. I was not allowed to drive. I was not, and it seems it seemed kind of silly to me then, but it doesn't now. I wasn't allowed to do certain things. I wasn't allowed to, pay bills. I was allowed to collect the money, his money, and pay the bills. I was not allowed, to, have an opening so another man could, look at me, or I would see something else that was better, into my relationship. So I really understand where these chosen one content creators are going with their content, because we have these people who, these men who say that, they want the welfare ladies. They want the 40,000. You need to be able to accept them for $40,000. And those are absolutely the men that don't want you to grow in life. Those are the men who want to come home and have access to a female, and they don't want to grow. They don't want to do anything else. They're comfortable where they are. And so these are the type of men that we try to avoid. Although, it's no doubt in my mind that you're not going to be able to make these type of men better. Because in their mind, they have already accepted, the hatred of women, and they have taken this from the colonizer. that if you do anything better than them, you know, they're going to belittle you. They're going to try to sabotage you. They're going to try to harm you. They're going to enter into a trauma bond so that, you know, the entire relationship with them is going to be based off some kind of, you know, victimhood mentality. You know, so therefore they won't approach another male in the store when they see that he's obviously wrong, when they see that he's obviously doing something, you know, out of character, but they will approach the female. And I've seen this over and over again on these videos where, you know, this person, obviously they can't be married. They have to be, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend, because a married man is going to be like, no, I'm ready to fight. I don't care how big you are. I'm ready to fight. You don't touch my woman. You don't do things for my woman. Don't you see me here? So this is how the chosen one men, they are going to react every time when they know that, you know, this is the woman that they love, and this is the woman that they are working with, that is they're elevating with. These are the women that, you know, they are married to, that they have put on a pedestal, that they protect, that they provide. And you can see that in the videos that have been going around, circulating on TikTok, circulating on Facebook. And, you know, I just love to see this, but I also wanted to highlight, you know, you can also tell those men who, you know, who want to be pampered and baby, but, you know, they bring nothing to the table but $40,000 a year. You know, they need help. They need help, and they need help because they don't want to stand up and say, you know, I need to go get another job. They want to say, well, if she's looking at you and if she's allowing you to touch her, then it's her. She's the problem. So, you know, we have those men who are, you know, bros before hoes. I'm sorry to say that. This is the term that they've been using. So I have, you know, given you this understanding that it's not a cool thing to see a male in that position, who is in a position where he is demoralized and belittled in front of his wife. And if they are dating, if they are, well, I'm not going to even say dating, courting. If they are courting, then that is definitely a red flag, where he will not defend the woman that he's with. He will not defend the woman that he wants to marry. He will not defend the woman that, you know, he wants to elevate with in life. Because obviously, you know, he has some issues that he need to work through. These are red flags for women. These are red flags for men when you have, you know, around your daughter, and they'll tell you that this person didn't stand up for me. This person allowed another person to come where I was, touch me, and they looked at me as if I was, you know, supposed to defend myself, or if I was wrong, or if I attracted that type of attention. So we want to always make sure that we are listening to the people that's in our life, the women that's in our life. We're looking at the character of the men. You know, these $40,000 men, they have been exposed. They have been exposed. So, you know, they're not going to be able to hide in the shadows. They're not going to be able to enslave their women. They're not going to be able to do any pimping or hustling inside the home, you know, against the female or the child. You know, they are being exposed, and they will be dealt with severely, because, you know, we have armed ourselves, you know, against this type of negative energy. We have sent this negative energy back to those warlocks to expose them in our communities, in our homes, those who do not want to, you know, share knowledge. And I wanted to just add this to this video before we get out of here, that there are a lot of these men, these $40,000 men, who do not want to, you know, invest in the chosen one young men. They will not pay the chosen one young men. So we have to be very careful about these type of men who are greedy and gluttonous and selfish in our relationships, so that they can be exposed for their behavior and conduct, for siphoning the financial energy, and they want somebody to, they want somebody to just be up under them all the time, and they bring nothing, to the table except for, their presence. And they think that that's all that they are supposed to bring. So I hope that you received this message. Please like, share, and subscribe to me. Please book your one-on-one sessions with me so that I can acclimate a gift to you, so that we can get these types of, $40,000 men out of our lives if they're not going to defend us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me over all of my platforms. Book your one-on-one sessions. Book your life coaching sessions. Book your video chat sessions. You can donate to my channel. I'm High Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. Assalamu alaikum.